Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody? Oh, yeah. There we go. Sorry about that. Had a problem with the microphone. But good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome into a brand new edition of Titans and Truth. I'm your man, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer. We're gonna have a great episode for you today. Can everybody hear me? Let me make sure everybody can hear me. Had a little problem, but I think I got it all straightened out. So let me know. Can y'all make sure y'all hear me good? And we will keep this show rolling along. And again, make sure y'all share this show out on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on Twitter as well. And before we do get started, today is a very special show. And as y'all saw on the beginning, we're going to talk about the 53-man roster and how it looks now. And there are some tweaking that's going to have to be done. And then also at the bottom, as you also notice, it does say TNT hits 1,000. So, with that being said, with this show hitting 1,000, there's just only, let me see, give me just a moment. Okay. There's only one thing I got to say about that. And that is thank you. Thank you to all of you who watch the show. Thank you to all of you who subscribe to the channel and just keep up with Titans of Truth. It is because of all of you that Titans of Truth just hit over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We want that number to grow on Facebook and on Instagram and also on Twitter. But hey, we did it. And I want to just say thank you to each and every one of you because y'all are the ones to help make this happen. I know I didn't do all of this alone. I had some help. Shout out to Titan Upload. Shout out to Mr. Titan. Also to Ken Moore, to everybody that's helped me along the way. NGB Talk, Titan Anderson, Tennessee Titan Weekly, any of those guys, all of you, every last one of you who watch, thank y'all so much. Lee, you too. And everybody, just thank you again. This show is for y'all. This show is all about y'all. And I just, again, y'all make Titans and Truth successful. Because without y'all, there is no me. Without y'all, there is no Titans and Truth like that. And so, again, thank you to all of you for helping me reach this goal. But I also have a bigger goal in mind. So, while we are at 1,000 and it is successful, make sure y'all continue to share this show out and help me get to 2,000. Help me get to 2,000. So let's keep going with that. But thank y'all again for everything that y'all done. I really do appreciate it. And of course, more thank yous are going to definitely come as we get into the show later. But I saw Jeremy Squire was up here early. AZ Mick is in here. Let's see. We got Mr. Weezy says phone is up. Everything is good. Valtoria, what's up? Al says congrats on 1,000. Let's tighten it up to 2,000. Kick massive tail. Excuse me. Thank you for that. Ola Straw. Thank you. Titan Mafia. Congrats. Let's see. Lee says, let's go for 2K. Congrats on that. Reggie, what's up? Just getting some of your comments out here. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Ian. Steve Crosio, what's up? Diego, what's up with you? Herman, what's going on? And then Mr. Weezer said, which players will get cut after our players come off the COVID reserve? We're going to definitely talk about that. And we're definitely going to mention that. Diego says it has dope. Hey, Out the Crib Customs on Instagram helped me design these. And so if y'all like them, get with me, whether in the comments section or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If y'all want a hat, I'll get with him and we'll see. We'll work something out so that you can get one. Definitely. Dennis Sanchez says, congrats on 1K, Mason Kinsey staying. Yep, we're definitely going to talk about that. We are definitely going to talk about that. So let's get in to the 53-man roster as it is set for right now. And this, we're going to start on the offensive side of the ball. And let me get my thing out here. Let's start with the offensive side of the ball because these were my projections. These were who I thought would make the team out of the 53. And so this is who I thought would make it as of Monday. This is how it actually happened. So we take a look at this, and I took into account right now the people that's on the COVID list. So before we go back to the offense, let's look at the COVID list. Ryan Tannehill, Ben Jones, Harold Landry, Jeff Swain, Nate Davis. Those are 5 starters on the COVID list. So you know, whoever we're talking about now that's on the roster, 5 spots are going to be taken because those 5 guys are going to come back. Then you have Nick DeZubinar, Justin March Lillard, Racey McMath, Jeremy McNichols, Cole Banwarth, who was just placed on the COVID list today. So these spots do not count against the 53. So when you see the 53 roster, as some of you have seen, you're going to see some guys on there that are just basically placeholders for right now who may end up on the practice squad. But again, the offense. Now, yes, there's one quarterback, Logan Woodside. You know that means there's going to be 2 because Ryan Tannehill is going to be on the team as well. And a name that you don't notice is Matt Barkley, which he got released today, and he's on the aforementioned practice squad. At running back, you got, of course, Derrick Henry, Darrington Evans, who is still hurt, Mekhi Sargent, Kari Blasingame. Jeremy McNichols is on the COVID list. Now, we don't know if McNichols is going to be on the team once he comes off the COVID list, or they may keep Mekhi Sargent. Excuse me for that. So, they talked a lot about Mekhi Sargent in practice, saying, has to get a little bit better with pass blocking and things like that. So, there could be a situation where it's McNichols or Sargent at some point once McNichols comes off. Then at tight end, you got Ferkser, Hudson, and Stocker. Obviously, Jeff Swain is on the COVID list. So I don't know if they're going to keep 4 tight ends or they're just going to go with 3. I'm going to assume they're going to go with 4, in my honest opinion. Kind of what Tight Upload has said all along. On the offensive line, you got Lawan Saffold, you got Ty Sembrano, you got 3 starters, Kendall Lamb, Dylan Raduns, David Quesenberry. Now you also got Aaron Brewer, who is a backup, and then you got Daniel Munyer, who's on right now. But we know once Ben Jones comes off the COVID list, 9 times out of 10, Daniel Munyer is going to get cut. And also because you see an old familiar name. Corey Levin was claimed off of the Jets because the Jets cut him. The Titans claimed him. So I think that pretty much signals the end of Daniel Munyer once Ben Jones comes off the COVID list. The wide receivers are still the same with AJ Julio, Josh, Chester Rogers, Marcus Johnson, Nick Westbrook-Akina, and they kept Cam Batson over Des Fitzpatrick and Mason Kinsey. So obviously they trust Cam Batson, they trust Nick Westbrook-Akina, and and they're just not ready to trust Des Fitzpatrick just yet. So this is where the offense looks right now. Again, Ben Jones, Nate Davis are going to come off of the COVID list at some point. And I believe according to A to Z Sports, I think Ben Jones could come off on Friday. I think Tannehill could come off on Saturday. I'm not sure about Nate Davis. I want to say it might be like, or it might be Ben Jones, might be next week, right before they get ready for the Arizona game, if I remember correctly. But those guys are going to be coming off the list. So once those guys come off, they may be keeping 10 offensive linemen. We're definitely going to see about that. And obviously a wide receiver, you got your 7. And, you know, obviously they trust Cam Batson and Nick Westbrook-Akina on special teams. And that pretty much led to the end of Des Fitzpatrick and Mason Kinsey. So what do y'all think of the offense as of right now? Remember, this ain't set in stone by any means because of that COVID list. So let me get your thoughts on that. I'm going to go up and take some comments. And let's see what we got here. So give me just a second. Okay, I'm sorry. There we go. So give me your thoughts. What do y'all think of the offensive side of the 53-man roster so far? We're finna get ready to head to the defensive side. Mr. Chuckled says, I don't know why the Titans like Cam Batson. Well, Mike Vrabel loves him. And when Mike Vrabel loves somebody, he's going to get up on the table for him. And honestly, I thought, again, Mason Kinsey probably deserves it more than anybody. And Cam Batson, I think he saved himself in that game with Chicago. That's why Cam Batson is on the football team right now. Al Pierce says, I hope Sargent stays when McNichol comes off the COVID list. One of them is going to end up on the practice squad, Sargent or McNichols. That's probably what's going to happen. Tyler Westra, what's up with you, man? Welcome in. Let's see. Ian agrees with Mr. Shuckle. I believe Cam is more familiar than Mason is why they keep him on the 53. And that sounds about right. Diego says, looks like T.Y. Hilton will undergo neck surgery. Now, there is some news coming out of Indy that I believe Carson Wentz is on the COVID list, got put on the COVID list today. So, Colts could be in a little bit of trouble. That much is true. Let's see. Mr. Weezer says, Michael Pruitt on the practice squad. Yes, he is. We'll talk about that. Excuse me for that. And let's see. Yep. Pruitt on the practice squad. Tennessee Titan Logic. What's up? Yeah. Like Al. Yep, that's right. He's on the practice squad. Tyler says, I'm a little unsure about the right tackle spot. And that's true because right now it is going to be between Ty Sembrano and Kendall Lamb for that right tackle spot. Mr. Chuckle said, Nate Davis on COVID too. Yeah, Nate Davis has been on the COVID list for a little bit. He should be coming off, I want to say sometime next week, right before we get ready for Arizona. So I think all of the main players are going to be fine and ready to go for week 1. I don't think anything's wrong with that. Ian says, I believe Stalker is gone once Swaim comes back. We'll see, because Vrabel can tend to keep 4 tight ends, and Stalker is familiar with the system and is a pretty good blocker. And yes, some of these guys will be gone coming off the COVID list. I agree. Shuggle says he'll probably be all right at right tackle. Lee says I will let Raydons move to the practice squad to perfect his craft. Well, he's a second-round pick, and they kind of need him. He's versatile, can play guard and tackle, so I think that's why, you know, they're doing that. Ian says, McNichols is out of here. Is out of there once he gets off the COVID list. Sergeant is J-Rob's boy now. Well, we'll see about that. And let's see. Mr. Weezer said, do you think Levin will make the roster or the practice squad? Well, right now he's on the team because he got claimed off the waiver wire. So he's on the 53-man roster right now. So, and Steven says, I think Hudson gets that cut. Hudson made the team, and I think they really like Tommy Hudson and want to give him opportunities. I think they really could have cut him already and put him back on the practice squad if they really wanted to, but we'll definitely see how that goes. Lee says would have kept Kinsey over Johnson, but Johnson has flashed in practice, really hasn't flashed much in the game. We'll still have to wait to see about that. I mean, I just thought a lot of his light got dimmed as time went on, as far as going forward. So, I mean, yeah, Marcus Johnson has far done better than like a Des Fitzpatrick or anything like that. Again, I know a lot of people want Kinsey on the team. He's on the practice squad, and that's pretty good. Joe says, saw on Twitter today, Jerome Boger will be the referee. And I know a lot of people don't like Jerome Boger or Booger, as some people like to call him. But a referee can't decide a game. Only the Titans can decide that game. So they better get it together. Let's see. But let's keep going. I know some other people got comments as well. Glad to see Des made the practice squad. Players coming off the COVID list will still have some breathing issues. But it just depends on the symptoms. A lot of people that get, are positive for COVID, some of them are asymptomatic. Some of them may not even have those symptoms. Like Vrabel came off and was at work today. He completed his 10 days, and he's back in a facility today. And it seemed like he was just fine. So that's basically the offensive side of the ball. Now let's turn to the defensive side of the ball, which is a little bit more packed, so to speak. These were my predictions. This is my predictions who I thought would make the squad on Monday. This is how it is now. The thing that shocked me about this, you got 7 corners in Chris Jones. Now, Chris Jones being the 7th corner, he's a placeholder. He's going to get cut. He's going to be on the practice squad, pretty much, once some of these guys come off the COVID list. 6 safeties with Byard, Hooker, Farley, McDougal. You got Crookshank and Breeze. I think Breeze goes to the practice squad. And maybe McDougal as well, because I know that Dane Crookshank is still very familiar with the system. Now we have 4 outside linebackers because Harold Landry is on the list, but you still got Dupree, Weaver, Derek Roberson, and Ola Adeniyi, which I like those guys. And then you add Landry, we're pretty good at the outside linebacker position. Ficken, Kern, and Cox are the specialists. We got defensive line, Jeffrey Simmons, Danico Autry, Laurel Murchison, Tier Tart, Anthony Rush makes the team. And then an inside linebacker, we have 4 with Evans, Brown, David Long Jr., Monty Rice. Nick Zubnar could be on the team because what he does on special teams, he may end up on the practice squad. But I don't think they're keeping 7 corners. I don't think they're keeping 6 safeties, in my honest opinion. So, again, what are your thoughts on the defensive side of the ball as far as the 53-man roster? Again, Chris Jones, I think, is going to get cut, may end up on the practice squad. Dane Crookshank might not be 100% safe. I think Brady Breeze goes to the practice squad as well. I think that's a pretty foregone conclusion to me. Let's see. If Levin makes the roster, could a wide receiver be on IR? Now, again, some of those type of moves could be made. They may move some people to short-term IR. They did talk about that today as a possibility. So that is something that they could definitely consider. Steven says, what shocked me was seeing 6 safeties. Again, y'all, the roster is not completely set in stone and probably won't be set in stone until sometime next week, right before we get ready for Arizona. And I mean, there won't be 6 safeties. There possibly 5, but I don't think it's going to be 6. I think Brady Breeze is going to go to the practice squad. Now, McDougal or Crookshank, one of them might be gone and end up on the practice squad as well. So we'll definitely have to see about that. Ian agrees with me on Chris Jones. James says, congrats on 1,000. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Mr. Weezer says he thinks 2 safeties will get cut. That probably could definitely happen. Paulie D, love your blue. What's up? Excuse me for that. He said, looks like, notice Michael Pruitt on the practice squad. Yes, and we'll talk about the practice squad in just a minute. And it was very interesting they brought him back on the practice squad. I wasn't expecting that. Reggie says to throw a curveball question. Is there a chance Malcolm Butler comes out of retirement and returns? Now, yes, the news did come out that the Cardinals did put Malcolm Butler on their retire list. So it looks like Malcolm Butler is retiring. Looks like he has some type of personal matter that he needs to deal with. So hopefully, prayers up to Malcolm Butler with whatever he has to deal with. Hopefully, whatever issues he has going on or whatever he has to take care of, hopefully everything will be okay for Malcolm Butler. Let's see. Mr. Shuckle says, well, Coach Mack said you can never have too many corners. That's true. You can never have too many corners. You can never have too many pass rushers. That much is a fact. Let's see. A couple more people saying. And y'all make sure y'all smash that like button too. I know we got quite a few people in here. Again, make sure y'all share the show out. Let everybody know what's going on. Lee says, McDougal, Crookshank, and Jones get cut. We'll definitely see. Mr. Shuckle responds to Reggie saying, no. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to come out of retirement and play for us. But I think he has something personal he has to handle. Mr. Weezer says, cut Chris Jones, McDougal, and Breeze, add Landry and DeZubnar to the roster. I think DeZubnar has a chance to get on because he does do work at special teams and he does do some work as a linebacker. Now, again, I think Breeze goes to the practice squad. I think Chris Jones goes to the practice squad. McDougal, I don't know. Let's see. Tyler says, I swear if Bowen has corners playing off the wide receivers like they did at Green Bay last year. I hope that's not the case. I didn't really see a lot of that during the preseason, which is an improvement, although it did look like a lot of time Farley was playing so far off because, he was rusty. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Ian says, I'm fine. I am perfectly fine. I think some stuff went down the wrong throat. But I am perfectly good. Everything is fine. Thank you. Let's see. Devin K says, can we take a look at Farley's preseason tape? You know what? That might not be a bad idea. I may have to see if I can track something down with him because he did look a little rusty in the beginning. And Vrabel has said that Caleb Farley is really continuing to make strides. He is definitely trying to improve. And Farley looks like he's the type of guy that's a student of the game. Like, he seems like he's driven, which is good, which is really, really good. James said, I think Crookshank stays on the active roster because of what he could do on special team. Does sound like it. It could. Farley looked like a rookie, and that's okay as long as he isn't out partying like the Panda was. I don't think that's going to happen with Caleb Farley at all. Yeah, the bear he who shall not be named will not be mentioned on this show. Tyler says, still say Schwartz is going to take over. I don't know. Bowen seems to have gotten a little bit more comfortable. We'll have to see when the season starts how third down defense goes. Let's see. Joseph Rodriguez says, Patriots cut Cam Newton. That was a surprise. I was not expecting that. And I think they said it was something over maybe vaccination status, so to speak. Might be why they cut him. I don't know. But that's what it kind of sounds like, which I find that rather interesting that they're basically saying they're going to go with Matt Jones. And I'm thinking Bill Belichick has never been the type to go with a rookie right away. So I was very much surprised by that. But again, let's go back quickly on the offensive side. You're going to get Tannehill on offense. Daniel Munyer is going to get cut from the offensive line because Ben Jones and Nate Davis come back, so they may have 10 offensive linemen, which is good because you have some depth. But Kai Sargent, I think, will stick. You may end up with 4 tight ends because of Luke Stocker, and then you bring back Jeff Swain, and then you have 7 receivers. On the defensive side, I think you're going to cut out one of the corners and Chris Jones. You're probably going to cut out 1 or 2 safeties here with maybe Brady Breeze and maybe even a McDougal or Crookshank. You got to add an outside linebacker because you're bringing back Landry. And DeZubnar is a possibility of making this team as well. The COVID list. You got Tannehill, Ben Jones, Harold Landry, Jeff Swain, Nate Davis. That's 5 spots that's going to be taken right there when those guys come off. And I think Tannehill could be coming off very soon. I think Landry could be coming off pretty soon as well. So these guys are going to start coming off, and some more guys are going to get cut and go to the practice squad. I think McMath is going to the practice squad. Cole Banwarth, I think, is going to the practice squad because they cut him, and then he gets put on the COVID list, which I think means they want him on the practice squad after he comes out of protocol. And then here is the practice squad. So right now you have 14 guys on the practice squad. There are still 2 spots available. You got Matt Barkley, you got Des Fitzpatrick, Mason Kinsey, defensive lineman Naquan Jones, offensive tackle Jordan Roos, corner Brian Body Calhoun, who I thought had an outside shot of making the roster, Woodrow Hamilton, defensive line, safety Jamal Carter, offensive lineman Derwin Gray, fullback tight end Torrey Carter, tight end Miller Forstall, Michael Pruitt at tight end, and offensive tackle Christian DeLauro. So far, those are the guys that are on the practice squad. A couple of spots are remaining. I think Brady Breeze is going to get one of those spots. I think Breeze is going to get one of those spots. And then I say either DeZubnar or Chris Jones, the other corner, may get the other, depending on what they do right there. So how do y'all think of the practice squad and everything, how that's shaping up? And let me know. Let's see. Mr. Chuckles is off topic. The Bishop Sycamore thing. I heard a little bit of that on the Buck Rising show earlier. I was leaving my job, and I heard a little bit about that. I really don't have much to say on that because I really honestly didn't really know anything about it, and I really don't care about that. I mean, I heard it was a fake story or something like that. I'm just like, what? I'm like, I'm like, I just move on from that. It really was uninteresting to me. Tyler says, if we lose 3 games in a row or something, Schwartz is going to get that job. If the defense looks bad, and Shane Bowen just going to have to keep looking over his shoulder because Schwartz is waiting in the wings. I do agree. Ian says, I wish Butler all the best of whatever he's going through. However, we dodged a bullet with him because we'd be a deep doo-doo if he would have retired on us and we didn't get Jackrabbit, Farley, or Bolden. That's true. We would be up Craps Creek if that was the case. James says, as long as the secondary closer to the wide receivers than last year. Yep, I hope they play closer. Tyler West said, isn't Breeze hurt? Now, he got hurt in the Atlanta game, but I've seen him suit up for the last couple of games. He just hasn't played. which is shocking to me. So he was supposed to be hurt, but looks like he's recovering. So I think he's up on the practice squad. Let's see. Ian says Farley had a great interview with Mickey and Blaine. I can assure you he's no panda. And I agree, because remember what he said to Teron Davenport about training camp. He's like, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. And so we rebuke that. That much is a fact. Paulie D says, what's the deal with John Simon? Well, right now he got cut. And Vrabel sounded like he wanted to bring him back. He wants to bring him back. I don't know how they're going to do it. I did not hear that John Simon has gotten claimed off waivers by anybody. So I could see where John Simon comes back once they get the roster kind of where they want it to be. So I could definitely see that. Steven says the practice squad basically equals Titans are worried about the offense more than the defense. Well, it depends. Maybe at the tight end position, maybe in the offensive line and a wide receiver. That's true. John said, Upload boy still has life on our team. He's on the practice squad. He's on the practice squad. So he still does have some life. And I'm pretty sure Upload is pretty okay with that. ESPN dropped the ball on that situation. I'm guessing you're talking about that whole Sycamore situation that I really don't know nothing about. Alpert said, who do you think drops off the practice squad to make room for the guys on the COVID list? The practice squad will have nothing to do with the COVID list. When those guys come off the COVID list, they go to the active roster unless Vrabel or John Robinson cuts those guys once they come off the COVID list. They can't do anything until those guys come off of COVID protocol. So they go to the active roster, and then you either can cut one of those guys or you can put them on the practice squad. Again, here's the COVID list. And I put asterisks by Tannehill, Ben Jones, Harold Landry, Jeff Swaim, Nate Davis, because those guys are starters. That means 5 guys who are on the roster right now are going to get cut or moved to the practice squad to make room for these guys. So again, Daniel Munyer, for example, is probably getting cut once Ben Jones comes off. Harold Landry goes to the outside linebacker room. Maybe that means that's the end of one of the safeties or Chris Jones, the corner. And Jeff Swaim. Could they cut Luke Stalker if Jeff Swaim comes off? Because, they got 2 tight ends on the practice squad right now. So I could see where they say Stalker's gone, Swaim remains. Nate Davis, they may carry 10 offensive linemen, which I will be okay with that. Racy McMath, I think once he comes off, goes to the practice squad. Banwarf goes to the practice squad. So that might be a couple of spots. And now there may be some guys who are on the practice squad that might end up being gone as well. So we don't know that. And that's the practice squad right there. So guys like maybe a Jamal Carter or a Derwin Gray or somebody like that might get kicked off the practice squad when like a McMath or a Barnworth come off. We'll have to see what they decide to do. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look. Lee Hillis says Barnwell or Jones get that last practice squad spot. There's 2 spots left. Out the crib. Said week 1 almost here. I'm super excited this year. Anything less than the Super Bowl is a bust for me. And remember, y'all, Out the Crib Customs is the guy that makes this hat. So if y'all want one of these hats, get with him on Instagram. Or you can get with me and I can get to him and can get that set up. Now, this is the red. I believe he can also do one in Navy, which I know he's got to work on that, and I got to see the prototype. I wouldn't mind getting a Navy one myself. So that's something that you could definitely take a look at. So shout out to Out the Cribs Custom for the hat. Let's see, Dylan Darian says, I was sad Body Calhoun and Mason Kinsey was sent to the practice squad. I mean, there was too many spots. I thought Body Calhoun may have a slick chance of making it over Chris Jackson. Now, Chris Jackson might not be 100% safe either, so we'll definitely have to see about that. But I don't think they're carrying just 5 corners. Zach Carpenter, what's going on? Lee, yeah, I did see that Wyatt Ray got claimed by Cincinnati. And I'm trying to think if another Titan got claimed by somebody. I can't remember, but I do know Wyatt Ray. Yes, he got claimed by the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's see. Tyler says, Breeze is the kid from Oregon we drafted. He did good things at Oregon. I'm not sure what he was injured, but I know he came off the field. They carried him off, and looks like he's okay. He's probably going to be on the practice squad. A lot of people said practice squad looks like it has some good depth. Joseph says, bring back John Simon. Can you tell us your final 53? Well, again, Rob says, shared the video. I appreciate that. King Henry for another 2K. And I'll give you, those were, and I will put out who I think will end up my final 53, but I can only go right now with who the Titans have as their 53. But I think I could do something for that. Let me see. Paulie D said we need Tanny back ASAP, so him and Julio need to go down to the schoolyard. Again, from what I heard from A to Z Sports, I listened to them. Tannehill can come off and is available on Saturday after the 10 days. So Tannehill could come back Saturday. I believe Landry, I know they said somebody could come back on Friday. I think that was, I want to say Ben Jones could come back Friday. Tannehill could come back Saturday. And I want to say Landry might be able to come back Saturday too. Friday or Saturday as well. And I think Nate Davis could come back on Wednesday because he got put on a few days later. So some of those guys are going to end up coming off. And I think we're going to be fine. They're going to get a couple practices. Because remember, Tannehill has been watching a lot of Julio Jones film. He's watched pretty much a lot of his routes that he's ran, so he can kind of see how does he make his cuts, where does he like to go with the ball, so that way they can kind of get that chemistry going. And they've been in meetings, so of course it's not like they haven't had any conversations or haven't talked to each other and kind of worked some things out via film. They just got to get together on the field to do it. So that's the thing. Let's see. Okay, quick question. You probably are. Let's see. I'm not sure what you're talking about with Methodist or anything. But you say who's the running back room behind Henry? Right now, if you look at the prediction, at the way it's looking, excuse me, Darrington Evans, Mekhi Sargent, Kari Blasingame. That's as of right now. Darrington Evans still dealing with an injury. Mekhi Sargent, I think, has earned his way onto the team. Blasingame's the fullback. Jeremy McNichols is still on the COVID list. We don't know what's going to happen when he comes off. Either McNichols is on the team, Mekhi Sargent goes to the practice squad, or Mekhi Sargent stays on the team, and maybe McNichols goes to the practice squad or is cut out right. We'll definitely have to see how that goes. But again, my 53, because Mr. Weezer mentioned it, they're going to keep 2 quarterbacks with Tannehill and Woodside. I think the running backs will stay at 4, whether it's Sargent or McNichols. So let me see. I'm going to do some quick calculations on the run since I have to do an impromptu 53 because I have my predictions up. But again, this was my 53. So Here was what I thought is going to happen. At quarterback, Tannehill and Woodside. Running back, Derrick Henry, Darrington Evans, Mekhi Sargent, Blasingame. You got 3 tight ends with Swaim and Hudson. Now, it could be 4 if you add a Luke Stocker. But right now, I'm going to stick with 3, and we'll see what happens with that. With the offensive line, they have 9. I think they're going to keep 10 because you got to add, and you see Ty Sambrailo's name is the one that's cut out. Because when Ben Jones and Nate Davis come back, then you got Ty Sambrailo, you got Daniel Munyer. He's going to be replaced by Corey Levin. So they're going to have probably 10 offensive linemen and 7 wide receivers. So that's 26. Des Fitzpatrick just got replaced by Cam Batson, basically. So that's my offensive 53. So I think 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 3 tight ends, 10 offensive linemen instead of 9 because you add Corey Levin. And then the receivers are at 7. It's just instead of Des Fitzpatrick, we got Cam Batson. So right now I'm at 20. Let's see. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah. So right now I'm at 26. And then you add the 3 specialists that are going to be on the defensive side. That's going to be 29. So that means I only got 24 spots remaining. Again, I think instead of 6 safeties, we're going to be down to 4. Instead of 7 corners, I think we're going to be down to 6. So that's 39. Then I think we're going to have 5 pass rushers because Harold Landry will be coming back off the COVID list. We'll have 5 defensive linemen, which makes 49. And then that leaves only 4 spots left, which basically means no Nick DeZubnar. So there'll be 4 inside linebackers. That makes 53. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my 53. So that's what I think. And then you have your practice squad. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Looks like Mr. Weezer and Zach Carpenter have the same name. Yep. Chris Jackson made the roster. Not just initial. He is a done deal unless he goes to IR. Yeah, it looks like they like Chris Jackson a lot. Let's see. I heard the Titans. No, Mr. Titan, I would not be playing right tackle. If I'm on the football team, I'm playing on the defensive side of the ball. That much is a fact. So, I mean, hey, if the Titans claim me, I'll be glad to play. Reggie B says, tighten up. I said, what's up? Let's see. Dylan Darian I have Henry, Julio, and AJ in my fantasy lineup. And that's something when we go into week 1, I think I am going to start doing a little fantasy. And there will be a fantasy segment on the show. I'm going to start doing that. So bear with me on that because I'm really not that experienced with fantasy like that. But I'm going to try. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to, give who I think you should start, what Titan players you should start, what Titan players you should sit. Who should start, who should bench. I may give 2 players that you could start, 2 players you could bench in this particular game. So that's something that I will definitely try to do. So, I actually have to bear with me when I do try that because I'm not that experienced with fantasy, but I'm trying to grow with it. Let's see, Miss Heather and Mims. No way that kid, let's see, Wyatt Ray was playing for the Titans. Now he's playing for the Bengals. Well, Wyatt Ray got cut, Miss Mims. Wyatt Ray got cut. wasn't good enough for the other outside linebackers. And that's what happens when you cut a guy within the 24 hours between 3 p.m. yesterday and 11 a.m. this morning. Players could be claimed. I think they wanted to bring Wyatt Ray back on the practice squad, but I'm okay with him getting claimed by the Bengals. He was not really that great to me. Rob says we need Tannehill. He'll be back, y'all. He says, I pray Tannehill is fine. I think Tannehill is fine too because he's vaccinated. He's vaccinated. I think a lot of the guys that are on the COVID list are vaccinated, from what I remember. So I think these guys are just asymptomatic and they're following protocol. Tannehill and Landry went on the same day. So good. Both of them can come off on Saturday. So and then Ben Jones can come off on Friday. So there's 3 spots on Friday and Saturday. 3 spots are going to be taken. Rob says Tannehill's a quiet top 10 quarterback. I agree. I definitely agree. Let's see. Steve says the NFL community has to give us countdowns for the people who can't tell when the players who are on the COVID list are able to come back. I agree with that. And it looks like there's some misinformation between who can come off. But we know by the weekend, Tannehill, Landry, Ben Jones can come off. That much is true. Win it all with no mistakes. Well, no team is perfect, Ms. Mim. We are going to have some mistakes. There are going to be mistakes that are made. But, hey, I do pray that we do win it all. I want us to win the whole thing, and we gotta get there. This time said, by the way, congratulations, well deserved. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. That is very much appreciated. Let's see. I'm having a fantasy draft on Monday. Well, I believe Tight Upload has mentioned to me about a fantasy league, so I think I'm gonna get in one. I haven't played fantasy in about 5 years. Because I really don't keep up as much as I should, but I'm going to try. So I think that's what I'm going to definitely try to do. And Lee says, yeah, team is 97 to 98% vaccinated. And that is correct. So a lot of those guys that are on the COVID list are vaccinated, and they're just probably asymptomatic because that can happen. And so, definitely want everybody to come back as quick as possible. Let's see. Dylan says, I started my own league called Smash. Hey, that's cool. That's really cool right there. But I'm definitely going to try to get in Smash Mouth. I see. So, yeah, I think I'm definitely going to try to get in on some fantasy. So, tighten up low, but tight. If y'all are, anybody want to invite me to a fantasy league, send me some information. I'll get down. I'll get in on it. I'm willing to play. I may try to win one. So we're definitely going to see about that. But again, one thing I want to do is, again, now that we've done all of that, I'm here to celebrate y'all. Because once again, y'all have helped me get to 1,000 subscribers. This is also a celebration show. So you know what? This is all about y'all now. This is fan time. So I want y'all to tell me maybe your favorite moment, favorite show, or favorite moment that you've had with Titans of Truth. If you had a personal moment with me, and believe me, I will be at Nissan Stadium quite a few times. I'm at least going to 5 games this year, 5 out of 9. And like the Miami game, the San Francisco game, I'm probably not going to be able to make those because, 1, I don't really do cold very well. And 2, the San Francisco game is right around Christmas. I'm not sure what I'll be because I know it's a Thursday night game and I'm going to have to work on that Friday. So I won't be able to make the San Francisco game. I may try, but again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that. So again, this is about y'all because this is the most important thing. Thank you. Thank you to all of you who have helped make this show possible. I couldn't have done it without any of you. I couldn't have done this without each and every one of you right now. And, this show started, we're going to have in a few weeks, we're going to have the 200th episode coming up before the end of September. We're going to have episode 200. I plan on having a few of you on the show for that 200th episode. So I'm going to be talking to some of you about that. And, we'll celebrate that with 200. We're going to celebrate this again. But it means a lot to me, y'all. It really does. That y'all supported me as much. And, we're definitely trying to grow and get more viewers and things like that. There are going to be times I'm going to be bringing in some podcasters from other teams to talk about some of the games that are coming up. Again, next week we'll be putting out a live ladies night show. We're going to have our first ladies night show of the year as we get ready to preview week 1. So y'all make sure you tell your female friends who are Titan fans to come on in, because we need some ladies in here. We need to bring some more women into the show. And so I'm going to be having some ladies who are fans via Facebook, Titan fans via Facebook. Maybe I have one or two on Twitter. I'm trying to see if I can get some media, but I'm not having really a lot of luck there. But we're going to have some female Titan fans on, and we're going to talk Arizona. We're going to talk the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to probably get some things from them as far as what they enjoy, as far as being a Titans fan as a female and things like that. We're going to celebrate the woman. So y'all come on in and enjoy that. And it's going to be fun when that comes out on Wednesday. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. I'm going to read some of y'all comments. Let's see. Steven says, I've been in 3 of my 5 fantasy leagues. Ian says, I want to join a league too. Rob said, thank you for your show. I appreciate that. I want a league with Titans YouTube. That would be cool. Devin says, do it. I got Henry at pick 8. I got Julio as well. I'm not sure if I should start Julio each week. That depends with Julio. I think with Julio and AJ, you could probably not go wrong with either one. It just depends, because there are, like, Seattle is pretty good defensively. So that could be iffy right there. We have to know the opponents pretty well. Dylan says, congratulations, Blue. Hope to see you at Nissan Stadium. I'll be there December for the Jags game. I might make the Jags game. I may try to do that. But I am going to be at the Arizona game week 1, the Colts game week 3, the Bills game for Monday night. It'll either be the Saints or the Texans game. And I'm trying my best to see about Kansas City. I don't know if I'm going to make that because, hey, I'm trying to stay good with the misses. So I'm trying to do right by that. Let's see. Ian says, well deserved. Let's see. The NFL, Lee said the NFL draft live stream was a blast. The countless times you've been on my show. Hey, Lee, appreciate you, my brother. And y'all go back and check out that draft show, especially round 2 and 3. Y'all saw where I went off about Monty Rice. Hopefully I end up being wrong about him. Let's see. Jameson says, celebration for reaching 1,000 subscribers. Very awesome. Hey, again, it's because of y'all that I reached it. Because of y'all that I got there. So, and we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep growing. More stuff is coming. Again, I'm trying to slowly work on a new concept that I'm going to be trying to bring out at some point, maybe this year, down to the T, talking about all Tennessee sports, talking about this #1 recruiting class at the University of Memphis for basketball, football. Can the football team get to the top 25? Could they win the AAC? Maybe they get to move to a bigger conference. Vol football, which we have no idea which direction that's going to go. The Preds, hockey, we may be trying to get into that. Trying to throw in a little Vanderbilt, Middle Tennessee. I may do do a live on the phone, maybe from the Southern Heritage Classic. I don't think I'm going to the game, but I think I'll be tailgating out there. So maybe have a little fun with that. So definitely have to see. Let's see. In charge, Vol all day. You the man. I appreciate that. And like I said, I'm definitely trying to work on something with the Vols. So, definitely trying to see about that down to the T. I'm not as game on the Vols as a lot of Vol Nation is, but I'm definitely going to try. I'm definitely going to work on that. Joe says, I like the episode where you came on a Friday morning at 12 a.m. I cannot remember when I did that, but I guess I was just so pumped I just wanted to do it. So that would be very interesting. Let's see, I need to bring back the Titans Twitter Fantasy League. And Matt Necrone, Titans Uncensored. My God, Matt Necrone. And Matt, I know you should be happy that I keep saying Necrone instead of Matt Netrone, so I don't say that no more. Let's see, my boy Philip, man, you kind of late, but that's what's up. I got hooked to your page because of your passion for the Titans and personality. From a subscriber point of view, thank you for the content. Congratulations, you deserve it. Clapping in WWE. Hey. You know what? Matter of fact, for that, I got, because I appreciate that people are acknowledging me. You know what I'm saying? People are acknowledging me. I just appreciate that. And I thank y'all so much for everything. So, it's always fun to do it. And I just appreciate y'all so very much. Ian says, I like your anniversary show last year when you had Teresa Walker, TD, Mr. Titan, Upload, Kim Moore on. And I'm going to have some guests on for episode 200. Some of you are going to be in there. Ian, be quiet. Be quiet, man. Look. Here's what y'all got to do. Acknowledge. But, man, yes. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. I'm not tearing up, but I'm feeling great. So thank y'all again for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. Now, thank y'all so much. And I see Lee's got his show coming out this week. Titan Bloodline, I like that. But now, help me get to 2,000. Let's go to 2,000. I thank y'all for tuning in to Titans and Truth. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all again. We finna head to 200. Let's go.